I'm recording this because I'm doing a lot of trial and error here. I'm using some really fragile sheet music that I got quite a few years ago to cover the 8.5 by 5.5 inch covers, and so I can just watch along, hoping that it doesn't cause an issue when I fold the papers. These are really old and very brittle. I don't know the years on them. Oh, they're old. I got them from my sister, and I want to say it was at least, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe even more. I've been holding, well, it couldn't have been 5. But these pieces, as you can see, a little brittle, so let's see what happens when I try to bend them to put them on this. It's been really hard. I've been looking for some sort of, so these pieces are the ones that go on right on top of the, here. They go on top of here, right? That's this piece. It also gets the holes in it for your binding. So I wanted something that went with it. I have this cover that I'd like to put on it, but I'm not so sure how it's gonna go. I think I showed this before. And this is kind of bluish. I would have to trim it. It's an antique, a vintage piece that I got from this. It was something at the fair. So I have to be really careful moving them. Looks like they'll be okay. Let me get out my bigger tub of glue, I think. There it is. My distress. Let's see how this goes. Carefully fold that over. I like the blue. Has a, this one's actually green. Has the music notes were printed, and they're printed green with this green ink. So it's kind of pretty. Okay, let's get this on here. Oops, I should have did that one first. Yeah, I was even looking at using some fancy papers like these. We get them from a shop, a local shop here that it's a stationery shop. I thought, well, that might be fun. I cut them, and it's just too much. It needs something broken up to. I don't know. It was too much. I just, oops. I just didn't like it. So I decided I would go back to the original papers that they kind of use, which is music papers or book pages. You could even use scrapbook pages, scrapbook papers. You could use that. And where's my smaller scissors? I'm cutting up all over the place. So lace would work. That's what I really wanted to do. Is like I said before, I wanted to put a piece of lace on it, but it didn't seem to work. I didn't want to go out and buy new lace. There's so much stuff. All right, so you can see, so the composition was called Love and Flowers. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then you can see that this paper's so brittle, it was actually had a tear down the middle of it. So I'm gonna paint that up a little bit, or glue it up, distress it. So that was one. And then there's this one. The problem I'm having is I don't have another green piece of paper. So I might have to do something with this one. All right, where's my other 8.5? Here it is. Do I want to, I'll just use this whole thing. Kind of the Dreamy Waltz song. Let's see what it'll look like. Kind of hold it up to the light to see what I'm looking at here. Yeah, I still don't have enough with this greenish paper. I don't think I have any more. I might have to look one more time through my things. All right, I'm gonna do this. So what I've been doing is I laid it down about where I want it, and I draw on the back, and then I put the glue on my page. Like so. And I am using the Distress Collage medium. I was a little worried about the bumpies on this corrugated box, but it looks like it's working out okay. So normally at this point you could actually start putting in the signatures, which I do have ready. Not ready, but I have papers picked out. And so I'm going to do that next. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it over, find my box I drew, which now I don't see because my ink was, my lead is not, I don't know. Let's see, I see it right here. So I'll put it on there, press it down for a second. It takes a little while to grab, but not too bad. Now I'm going to trim it down. It's about 3/4 of an inch. I gave it a little bit more just because I do have to come around the lip of the corrugated paper. And a 1/2 inch-ish. Go. I'm pretty sure this would be too thin. Let's see. Oh, we might be able to make it work. We don't see a lot of it anyway. Oh, maybe I'll use that. Look at that. The papers actually just came off on my fingers from the glue. Yeah, it's very, very fragile. Very fragile. But when I glue it down, it should give it some good reinforce it a little bit more, of course. So you want to come into about 1/8 of an inch so that you can still get to cover that little corner. going to give you a little update from where I am. I have, it's probably been a couple of weeks since I picked this up, but off and on I've been working on it because some of the stuff I can do off camera. So I wasn't real, well, first of all, what I did is I picked up all the papers and I made my signatures. I have a lot of the different papers that I picked out, and they're all put inside, and these are ready to sew in. Look at that. I actually have a book, a music book that had Joseph, Dearest Joseph. That was kind of cute. I like the pages. They are bright, but like this is going to be a lavender purple based journal. So this one has a really pretty inside. These papers are gorgeous for this. And I'm not going to flip through all of them right now. I'll do that later. These are papers that we get from the local art store. Very pretty, soft. Something fun. This one in the center has this beautiful image. This one has a cake on it. And what's the center of this one? Oh, this is the bride and the groom. This one, because there's 4 signatures, it's a little difficult to, it would be nice if it was 5. Then I could set it in the middle, and I may swap a center out yet, but it had to do with how the pages were laid out. Okay, so I did that. I picked up all the signatures and they're ready to go in, which is my next step. But before I do that, I wasn't real happy with, I like the color, I think it's nice, but not exactly what I was looking for the cover. So, what I did is I went and picked up, I was watching Anne from Alcindina Crafting, and I've done some of this embroidery that she does on her journals. I love it. She uses a combination of embroidery floss with the embroidery silk ribbon, which I like too. And so what I did is I purchased this. I'm going to put it over the top, and I'm going to sew it on, hand sew it on. I'm going to do that in a minute. I also bought some of these, a piece of fabric that has these pretty shiny, more shiny appliques with them. I mean, it's pretty, it's bridal. It's a bridal thing. So, but I'm going to probably cut a couple of these flowers off and also put them on. This has to be done before I start making the or put, glue on the outside, or even I need to make sure that I have set in my mind what I'm going for here. So I'm going to do that. Also, if you'll remember, I had covered these for the journal. Well, now I'm not real happy, even though they're very pretty. I'm not going to use these. The color is just not going to go with what I was going for. Maybe it will still. I don't know. I'm going to set those off to the side. And what I had was, I had some book pages that had, like love on them. I don't remember what these were from, but I took these out of the book. Here's marriage, and then this was from the book dictionary that had vows and stuff, and I covered those. So I'm probably going to use those along with, I'm going to use some of the images on here and make like a little collage on the cover and stuff before I start punching holes in it for the binding. I'm going to do that. So that's my plans. And probably, this is one of the Tim Holtz, it's Christmas. It's a Christmas frame from years ago. I bought them many years ago. I'm going to turn that into a picture for the front. This stuff is always up in air with me, but I know that I'm going to cover this with fabric. I'm going to then do some embroidery with lavender colors, like you know, like the lavender flowers, the pretty smelly ones. I'm going to do that. But before I do that, before I sew in my signatures, because it's going to get a little difficult, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew on the fabric on here today, and then I can sew in my signatures, and then I'll go from there. All right, so I'll be back. So after playing around with some of the appliques that I pulled off, I believe I'm going to do something like this. I believe. We'll see. I haven't sewed this down yet, but after putting on the cardboard front, I can see that I tried to put it underneath, but it's not going to be visible, so this will be perfect. Like I said, I'll probably use some of this paper too, and decorate that behind it before I put the appliques down. The other thing I have these beads that I can put through that. I might try to embellish these a little bit more with some lavender beads. See how that goes, and yeah, I got a plan. I also have this really cool trim. One of my sisters sent it to me. Look at that, 20 cents back in the day. She works at a thrift store, and once in a while she brings or grabs me some fun stuff. But I thought about after, we'll see how it goes, but maybe after putting that on, I could cover the end piece. Oh, I like this. I'm going to use it throughout the journal anyway, on the pages after I get it all squared away. But wouldn't that be pretty? Oh yeah. Okay, so I decided I'm not going to hand stitch this on. I'll see the stitches. I'm going to go ahead and run with my sewing machine and run the stitches around this to get it so it's situated, and then I'll go ahead and sew on my signatures.